What can I do when I'm stuck inside you? This cell of ice and fire, what blood red death, lost in desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Back once again, the Whole Damn Enchilada podcast. No Ryan Inman this week. He's got I don't know, some terminal illness where he can't be here. Who knows what's going on with him? But he might pop in, he might not. I sent him a link. But we do have somebody, a guest. Let's see, point that way. That way. We got Steve Merlo, the director from the Sawyer Massacre, and also the director of the upcoming movie, The Unseen. How you doing, Steve?
Oh, just great. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. See, it says there's 2 people on here so far, but nobody's commenting yet. But that's okay.
That's okay.
Right on. So, let's see. Sawyer Massacre came. Well, let's back up a little bit. Charles Sherrod, greetings, dudes. What's up, Charles? So,
hey, Charles. I know Charles.
You know Charles? All right, there you go. Karen Leddow. Hey, y'all. How you guys doing? All right. So, what? We'll just start back at the beginning. And what got you into horror?
I'm just a fan of movies, I guess, and it was really Texas Chainsaw Massacre that really more or less got me into horror and wanting to become a director, filmmaker, writer, all that kind of stuff. But I've just always loved movies. And just when I was in my 30s, I've been a professional musician for my whole life pretty much, and when I was in my 30s, I was I was teaching music for a living and all that kind of stuff, and I was kind of a little bit I need to get more creative, I guess you could say, and just kind of started with tinkering with some ideas, writing scripts, and my now wife, she was my girlfriend back then, was very, very encouraging. She's like, "You just jump into filmmaking, just do it, see how it goes," and it's been a learning experience, that's for sure, but I've enjoyed it.
Right. Did you have any formal training? Did you go to school for that, or you just jumped in head first?
I just jumped in. I volunteered a little bit on some sets, stuff like that, and just tried to get the experience the best I could. I did do a master class back in 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. I did a Werner Herzog master class. That was kind of cool.
Nice.
Like his work, so I'm a big fan of his work. So it was cool to get his perspective and learn, how he's done it over the years and be able to do stuff on a tight budget and stuff like that. So he was very helpful in that regards. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely helpful with these indie films because you're on a tight budget.
Oh yeah,
I believe you made this one with $30K. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it was a production budget was $30K. We had about $5K left over for post production, but the production was $30K. So all in was about $35,000. Yeah,
nice. And you said you were you were doing music professionally. Were you in bands? So what kind of music were you into?
In my 20s, I was in bands. I mean, I have been in some other bands, but they didn't really go very far. Most professionally, as far as playing music, I toured quite a bit in just a duo. We were just a duo with backing tracks.
Nice.
Not very good backing tracks, but back then it was, this was the mid 2000s, and you couldn't customize your backing tracks to sound very good. It was all MIDI stuff. Mm-hmm. And the MIDI stuff just sounds terrible. But so I look back at it now, like, boy, that sounded terrible. But we made money doing it for quite a while, and just did a lot of covers and stuff like that. Not very artistic, obviously, but you try to play your original stuff to try to do that for money. It doesn't go over very well, so at least not mine. Maybe I don't write the most commercial music, that's for sure. But I do it for art, though. So. Yeah, I'm not out to write a number one hit, that's for sure.
no doubt. I mean, if you write a decent hit, you can get paid on it forever. I work at a check cashing store in Cleveland, and I've cashed many royalty checks over the years. And what the hell's the guy's name? He was the original singer of Faith No More, and his name escapes me. Chuck Mosley.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
You know Chuck? Okay. So he wrote they used it in the Biodome, Dirty Jobs, and I can't remember the name of the damn song, but they used it in everything. The guy lived off it his whole life. He'd come in and when Guitar Hero used it, he got a bump. He got like $8,000 that month, and like sometimes it was as little as like a couple $100. Sometimes it was closer to 10. Depending on who used it. But yeah, he used it the rest of his life. That was like he called it his paycheck.
Well, there you go.
So you read it. You read it. It isn't even that big of a hit. I mean, it was because it was used like a lot commercially, but of course, Faith No More got much bigger with Mike Patton.
Yeah, with Mike Patton. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Ellis, what's up, brother? Kevin Ellis from the Spooky Picture Podcast. They just dropped an episode, ironically, on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre today. Everybody's doing some Texas Chainsaw stuff this month. I thought that was really crazy.
That is pretty cool.
Right on. So, you were always a big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Is that why you decided to do this movie?
More or less. I mean, it's a long story. We got
time.
The first film I made was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film. It was about a 30-minute short called First Annual Barbecue, which you can also see.
I seen something about that. Probably when I was.
It's really bad, but
it's really bad. Well, I'll check it out later on the night, and I'll message you to tell you what I thought of it.
Okay, and it's got some good moments, and it was made with $1,500 of my own money, and that's Canadian money, by the way. So that's like $500. I don't know. It's not very much, but it's a 30-minute short. It has terrible sound in it. It's got some not so good acting. Even my music score that I put in it, I listen to that and like, oh, it's so wrong. There's some good music in it, but it's like all wrong for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it should have been. It has some very distinct music and sounds.
Exactly. I don't think I understood that at that time. I don't think I quite understood it. Whereas I much more understood that for Sawyer Massacre than I did for that film. So yeah.
Right on. And you say you're from Canada, so you're from the west coast of Canada, though, no?
Yes. Yeah, west coast. Not entirely. I'm about a 4 to 5 hour drive from the Pacific Ocean, from Vancouver, basically.
Right on. Yeah, I went to Canada once for WrestleMania 18, and we had saved up a bunch of money. This is totally off topic. It doesn't do anything. But we saved up a bunch of money because we wanted to get ringside seats, and we had. Oh, cool. There's 4 of us. I think we had $15,000 saved up, and tickets went on sale. This was back in dial-up internet. The best seats we could get was $25 seats. So we were all in nosebleed. So that was bad. But a good thing though is we had $15,000. So we went to Canada. We turned it into $30,000, and we lived like rock stars for a week or two. Probably should have saved some of that money, But I was like 19 years old. So. But we had this big garbage bag full of money in the hotel room. And I don't know why the hotel people didn't steal it, but they could have. We just go in there and grab a handful of cash and just live like ballers. It was awesome. That's my Canada experience.
Hey, there you go. And the dollar does go a little further in Canada, I feel. At least
at that time, it was 2 for 1.
Really?
Wow. It was 2 for 1. This was in 2002.
Oh, okay.
Then there was a time shortly after that where Canadian money was worth more than our money, and you gave them a dollar and you got change back. And then now I don't know what the exchange rate is now, but I think it's a little bit in our favor.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It definitely is.
But it's not 2 for 1 like it was.
Yeah.
So what directors do you look up to that inspire you? Bobby Heckman, speaking of directors, I'm sorry. Bobby says, "What's up? Good job, Steve Merlo. Woohoo!"
Oh, thanks.
He did Victim No More, Friday
Victim
13th.
No More. Yes. I saw that a while ago. Good job on yours there, Bobby. I don't know what he had to make his movie, but great job. Yeah.
So as I was saying, so what directors inspired you? Who did you look up to as far as directors go?
Overall, as a in film, probably Steven Spielberg is my biggest influence. I feel like he's done a little of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, he's probably my biggest overall filmmaking influence. In horror, probably John Carpenter. Around the more indie side, John Carpenter did a lot of indie stuff back in the day. I like the Coen brothers a lot. The Big Lebowski is probably my
Yep, I
favorite
love
film of all time. Love it, love it. So yeah, those are just a handful. David Cronenberg, I'm a big fan of David Cronenberg. Love a lot of his stuff. Yeah, those are probably sort more or less the main ones that I gravitate towards. But there's others.
Me and my co-host, we have a thing going where we're doing like he's a more of a John Carpenter fan. I'm more of a Wes Craven fan, and so we're like we pick 3 different movies each to review, and we're like going back and forth whenever we have we don't have a guest, we'll do an episode about that. And
Cool.
It's got me more into John Carpenter because I had seen some of most of his stuff, but not really. Maybe it was like 20 years ago, and like he's really, really talented. John Carpenter, like really
He's done a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, definitely.
For sure. All right, what else do we got here? So, the movie Sawyer Massacre takes place about 8 years before 74,
before the original, yeah.
Because 1970 that took place in August of 1973, if memory serves.
That's
and your film
correct.
took place in June of 65. And
yes,
right on. So when you were making that movie to take place so long ago, I mean, you obviously couldn't have new cars or anything in it. How did you find those old cars? Was that a problem?
Well, it turned out to be more of a problem than I thought it was going to be, because we were supposed to have 5 old cars in the script. That's how many were in the script. And, a few days before filming, I had lined up 7. So I was like, okay, I got a couple backups just in case. And one of them was this blue truck that was barely a 65, but it had this new paint job, new rims, and all this. I was like, well, if stuff falls through, we'll have to use that truck. So a day before filming, I get a call saying, we can only let you, this one guy that was going to let us use 3 cars. I think he had 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get the cars, but you have to come pick them up in buttfuck wherever the hell it was. It was a couple hours from where we were. Well, maybe not quite that far, but we were in Bastrop, Texas, and so me and the production manager went down to this other place, at least an hour away. We'll say that it was at least an hour away, and we went to pick up these 3 cars, and the first one that I had to drive back, I was like, why are these not being towed to the set sort of thing? And we're having to drive them. I get in this old car. This was like a 1950s car, and the engine kept seizing on me. And it did this. I got it to the gas station that was nearby, and I said, okay, I'm not driving this fucking thing anymore. We'll risk it. We'll probably be down to like 5 cars exactly. I guess we'll have to use that darn pickup truck, that blue pickup truck. It's somewhere in the movie, and
somewhere in it's the main car in the movie.
It's like the main vehicle in the movie. Yeah, it is.
But it kind of works because with William Instone, is that his name? Instone, yeah. William Instone. Yeah. His character seems like he would drive like some hot rodded, like custom, like he's just so smooth kind of a guy. So it kind of worked. And then,
I don't know. I mean, the car was supposed to always be on the verge of breaking down, though. So that was kind of went against us story-wise, and of course, at the end, it does break down. And spoiler alert: if you haven't seen the movie yet, go watch the movie. But yeah, I didn't want to use that car, and we went down to like 5, and then we had a no-show. We saw somebody ghosted us on the first day of filming. I'm like, where is this guy? I was texting, no show. Wouldn't respond. We were ghosted, and we only had 1 vehicle show up for the first day of filming. We had to shoot around it. It was like, how do we shoot around all this stuff? These characters need a car. These characters need a car. So thankfully, we're at the gas station. We were shooting at the gas station that day, and there was already a bunch of old cars there. So it was kind of like, okay, maybe you could pass off one of these cars as their cars or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And but the whole day I was on the horn trying to find somebody else with a car. I ended up only having 2 cars by that point: the truck and the Cadillac. And I needed at least one more if I was going to have any chance of selling this.
Yeah.
And got lucky enough. It was expensive, and I was only going to get them for a couple of days. It was this old Chevy. I can't even remember what it was. I think it was a Chevy Nova, an old Chevy Nova. I could be wrong on that, but it was the car that
can't
the
remember,
couple were driving. It was that car, and managed to get that car, but we only have it for a couple of days, and it was going to cost. It was pricey. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was pricey. And that's typically what old cars are going to be, is pricey. Whereas that was why we used the blue truck so much, because it was free. So we had one free car, and that was the one.
Did the blue truck belong to one of your guys?
No, it belonged to the same people that owned the other cars that broke down on us.
Okay.
They were going to give us 3 cars. We ended up getting one out of them. So yeah, we went from 7 cars to 3 cars down to 2 cars within a matter of 2 days, and picked up one other car on the first day of filming. So it was like, we were so lucky we at least got that 3rd car. But again, we're supposed to have 5. So, you shoot around it as best you can, and we made it work.
Yeah. It was good stuff. Like, I kind of like that you actually realized, well, we can't have anything past like 65 in this movie, or else it's gonna, kind of like screw it up.
Some
like
people won't notice.
Like Texas Chainsaw 3D did, where it was written to be in the 90s, but then when the producers and directors got it, they're throwing cell phones and shit in there, so that screwed everything up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a need. There's always a need for these Hollywood executives to modernize any script they put their hands on. It has to take place modern times, so young people can relate to everything that's in it. I think that's the attitude, and I don't know. I think there's nothing wrong with setting a movie in the 90s or whatever. I don't know. It just depends on the story you want to tell. We want to tell our story in 65. Specifically because that was like that was when the Vietnam War broke, and a lot of things went to shit in America. So we wanted to have it to reflect on that time period, where, hey, all of a sudden everything's just going to shit. Everything was great, and now it's going to shit, sort of thing. And so that was the biggest reason why I chose 65. But I'm definitely not somebody who's going to write something in a modern time just because we want to adapt to modern audiences.
Right.
My new film does take place in modern time, but it's definitely not. I definitely wouldn't call it a very modern film as far as style goes.
Right on. Yeah, and like especially with like Adam Marcus's, he wrote the script for Texas Chainsaw 3D. It doesn't work in the 2000s. It's like she's the baby in 1974. How is this 2013? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to ask Adam Marcus what the original script looked like. Did it actually take place in the 90s, or
it did, and
I heard it did.
They screwed up a lot of his stuff. I can get you a copy of it.
Yeah, I'd love to read it. That's for sure.
I'll do that. I'll reach out to Adam and see if he can send me a copy, and then I'll send it to you.
I think I'm friends with him on Facebook too. That's that's the funny thing. I feel bad because I hate Texas Chainsaw 3D, but I like Adam. And I just know that a lot of that stuff that made it on screen was not Adam's doing.
The do your thing cuz is not in the script. It is 100% not in his script. There isn't a cell phone in his script. None of it.
There you go.
And I actually liked the movie, to be honest with you, because it really made you feel for Leatherface, and you wanted Leatherface to kill people because those people were horrible. But it would have been.
I don't like that. That's what I don't like about it. I don't want to like Leatherface. I want to be scared to death of the fucking guy.
Yeah.
But
I just thought it was an interesting spin on it. I liked it.
It's a different spin, but it doesn't work for me. That's for sure. I think Leatherface needs to be messed up, a really messed up person.
Well, I think with that character, though, I think even since his beginning, you've always kind of had, in my opinion, I always have felt something for him, because it seemed like he was being manipulated by his family, and he's like, scared all the time, and like, a lot of crazy shit had to happen to him to get him that way. And like, he's definitely he's so much more of a complex character than just crazy hillbilly with chainsaw killing people. In my opinion.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I feel like a lot of the other sequels, not just Texas Chainsaw 3D, but a lot of the sequels don't get it right. They
Mhm.
kind of make him goofy, and they don't get why he wears the masks. It's like he's wearing a human mask, but why is he wearing the mask? And they don't get that idea that he wears the masks to take on different personalities. That
Right.
really bugs me that no other film in the franchise really got that, other than, and this is bad, is a Next Generation. But it was
Mhm.
essentially a direct copy of what they did in the original. You had, he's taking on the old lady character or whatever.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same, but none of the other films really got that aspect of the character. It was just, here's a human face, and maybe he's hiding a disfigurement like they did in the remake, and stuff like that. But that was not the original intention.
Yeah, I
The
didn't think
original
so either.
intention, the original intention was he's a person that's void of personality, and the mask gives him a personality. So whatever mask he's wearing, he's taking on that personality. And that was
Mhm.
an aspect I did with my film, although it's kind of subtle in our film, and I think it goes unnoticed quite a bit. But every mask he's wearing in our film is a different character that he killed throughout the film, and he's taking on their personality to a degree.
Mhm.
The most important one being the last one he wears, which is actually a combination of the father character that was killed, Henry, of the two
Mhm.
children, and the mother. Her hair was supposed to be her hair and his face.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell, but it's
I
supposed
I
to be.
I could, yeah.
Okay. And that was the significance, was he's taking on a parental figure by wearing both the parents' hair
Right
and
on.
face. Yeah. So
So the movie, of course, it has the gas station like all of them do. Why does these gas stations they never have gas? Like,
uh
in all of these
ours
movies,
had gas. Ours had gas. It
I
just
thought he said he didn't, and
no, he didn't have supplies.
I thought he didn't have gas. Okay,
No.
right
No.
on. I might have messed that up.
No, yeah, there. I think some of the characters were filling up gas, but they were looking for food. Like the
Yeah,
first
I remember
character,
that. And then
like, what do
and
you
then,
have for
then
food?
Rex
And they,
would funnel him to the house.
yeah,
Yeah, like, hey, well, we don't have that here, but I got that there, and get them guys to go there.
I do
Um,
kind of wish, if there was one thing I could change about it, is that aspect, is that whole plot to get them to the house for food or supplies or something. If there was one thing I could go back, I would. I did come up with an idea that would make more sense, but well, I'll keep it in my brain in case I ever remake it. In case the big studio says, "Steve, let's make your movie a big budget movie." And but yeah, I don't know, because that was one of the complaints we got from people that didn't, from some of the people that didn't like that aspect, was it seems kind of far fetched that this old house is going to have some of those items, and I could see that for sure. I could see that for sure.
well,
Yeah,
but here's and I thought that too at first, and then the way I rectified it in my mind is they don't see the house until they're there.
that
You know
is
what I mean? So
true.
they don't know.
Yeah, so I
They don't
mean,
know this guy could
ah,
have some shit there. You know?
you
And then
never
once they
know.
get there, and even the characters in the movie kind of acted like, what the fuck? This doesn't look like a place where I'm going to find any of this stuff. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I agree. I mean, this,
so I think they explained it well enough.
there has to be at least a small element of human error or stupidity amongst our main characters. There has to be at least. I mean, I don't want to make them like brain dead and like, why didn't you do that? Where you're thinking, uh, you know, I don't know a good example. I mean, a lot of movies do it. When they have a character that has a perfect chance to kill the bad guy, and they don't take it for some stupid reason. Why didn't you shoot this? The biggest example I can think of is The Strangers Pray at Night, when they've got the girl that killed her mom. He killed her mom, and he knows he killed her mom, and
Mhm.
he's attacking his sister. He's got the gun pointed at her, and he's just like, "You stay away from me." That's all he says is, "You get the hell out of here," or whatever. I'm like, why did you kill her? I'd go in guns a-blazing. So
No
I
doubt.
didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to make my characters that dumb, but I knew that there had to be at least some element of characters need to do something. They should have been smarter about certain things. So I hope we didn't go too far with it. I always wanted to. I think we went a little too far with it. You know, the more I hear about that, you know, I don't know.
Well, the
But
one thing I thought that was horror movie dumb is that the main guy whose name escapes me, he goes back into the fucking house
I
like
know.
3 times. It's like, dude, you just met her today, bro. Get up out of there. It ain't that
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, yeah. There's
But I
a
mean,
few
again,
moments.
you know, that's
Yeah,
horror movie stupid. You know, like
horror
you
movie
expect to
stupid.
see
Yeah,
that. You know,
yeah,
like
to a degree, to a degree.
yeah.
But yeah,
So I like how you it wasn't just Leatherface in the movie. You actually had, I think, all of the family in it, right? All the family was represented, right?
all of the family plus Rex.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have the grandma that was a corpse. we didn't have.
Speaking of
We didn't
grandma and
have her.
grandpa, I got
Yeah.
Jordan on here. He's actually he plays we have a haunted house near Cleveland called Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, and the whole theme of it's almost like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre deal. And he actually plays the grandpa character in the Texas Chainsaw. Dude, if you're ever in Cleveland, man, and you're near Halloween, you'll shit, dude. It's an actual old school slaughterhouse that was
wow.
it was abandoned, and the guy bought it and it turned it into this crazy haunted house, and you feel like you're walking into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now they tweaked the story instead of the Sawyers or the Carvers, and they tweaked the story a little bit to make it different. But it's for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, dude, it's one of the coolest places on earth.
That's awesome.
But speaking of the family characters, the one that played the hitchhiker, man, I think he really nailed it.
The young kid, yeah.
I as soon as I see him, I'm like, that's the hitchhiker. But I wasn't 100% sure until you see his birthmark. But I was pretty sure because just the way he was acting, he was just perfect, acting just like the original hitchhiker, Ed Neal.
Yeah. I really should get Vitor, because Vitor is his name. Mm-hmm. Get Vitor doing more of these. Like, cause I hear a lot of people giving compliments. Even people that didn't like our film still will say the guy that played a hitchhiker was really good. He's a young 15, I think he was 15. I think he's 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. Probably 17 now. I don't know, but yeah, he's the son of our production manager, and you know, he auditioned for the role, and it was between him and one other guy. And I chose him.
The right guy.
I went with the right guy. Yeah. The other guy that auditioned, well, he was blonde. That didn't help. He was really good, but I felt he was too good looking, I guess you would say. I don't know. He had too much charisma, I guess. I don't know. I felt, you know, like you needed somebody with a little bit of creepy backwoods kind of vibe to him, and Vitor definitely had that kind of vibe, so worked out well.
Right on. Speaking of Adam Marcus, he's actually texting me right now.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, because we're working on something for another show. Hopefully to get that together. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's going to be really sweet if it works out.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I think you did a real good job with the sets. The gas station and the house looked legit. They looked like they were supposed to do. Grandpa was cool. It was nice to see him, a little bit of development from him. Again, we were talking, I think, off air that he was actually able to speak in the movie, and I really like that. How, you know, it shows him like he's obviously really sick. Maybe he's got emphysema, something's going on. He can't breathe too good, but it is seeing him speak and have a speaking role was pretty cool to see. And I think the actor that played him did a really good job as well. But again, my favorite character in the whole movie was the hitchhiker for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. There you
just freaking nailed it, man.
I think all of our guys that played the Sawyers were pretty good.
Yeah, they all were good.
Yeah, for the most part, they were pretty good. There's always little things you wish you just had more time to we made the movie in 9 days, so any acting issues was really based on the lack of time we had. And there's a few here and there, but I mean, I think the actor that played Drayton actually was pretty good. I think there's, again, a few things. I kind of wish I could get him to lower his voice a little bit. He had more of a high pitched voice than I wanted, but other than that, the actor that played Rex was great, William Instone.
That guy
Although
was so good.
I'll say this: William Instone was great. I think the character was great, but I had written the character for the actor Robert Knepper. I don't know if you know who Robert Knepper is. He was in the TV show Prison Break. He played the slimy guy in that. Okay,
Yeah.
He's this tall, skinny, slimy guy. He plays the slimy role very, very well. That was what I pictured for the role. So William Instone's like the complete opposite visually than what I was looking for. But again, a great character is a great character.
It kind of, I don't know, like that, like that just slickness to him,
Yeah.
Where like people would probably believe what he was saying, but you could tell that what he's saying isn't really what's going on. I think, he had this nefariousness to him.
Yeah, there's a certain line he can't cross, obviously, if when you're playing a character like that, because you got to be convincing enough to the people, but you still have to come across a little bit slimy, right?
Yeah.
But if you go too far with it, then there's no way that the people would believe you. You have to be charming to a point, but
charming, definitely. He was definitely charming.
Yeah.
See, with Drayton though, I didn't even realize that was Drayton until I seen the credits. But then after that, I started to pick up on some things like how Drayton in the movie, like he wouldn't kill the people, somebody else would, and how this guy was kind of had like a reservedness to him that really showed that he was Drayton then. But like again with the hitchhiker, right away picked up on it.
It was a different route to go with the character for sure.
What's up? We're frozen. We back?
Oh, we're frozen. Are we still?
No, you're back now. You're good.
Are we back?
You're good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You were cutting out there for a bit, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so were you.
It's all good. What can you do?
So it's a different way
we're talking about Drayton.
Yeah.
It was definitely, I thought it was pretty risky. I thought, there's probably going to be a lot of people that are not going to like the route that we went with the character. But what I did when I was writing the script was I read the original script to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I really read the description they had. And back then they really wrote long descriptions on characters. So it was like almost a full page of description of Drayton and the hitchhiker. I remember reading both of their characters, and it's very, very long. And like the hitchhiker's birthmark is supposed to like go from here all the way down his neck and everything like that. And I believe he was supposed to be like either redhead or blonde. I can't remember now, but anyways, but they gave this long description of Drayton that was like an old man that's kind of tired of fighting sort of thing. So I'm like, what if he was kind of against his family? I just kind of came up with this idea because I already had the idea for Rex, and originally Rex was supposed to be, having a confrontation more with the sheriff. We had the sheriff character in the original draft, and I decided to take the sheriff out because I obviously this probably should be a sheriff, but in the town or whatever. But I felt like he wasn't having enough significance, and Drayton and Rex were kind of sharing the same role to a point. So I thought, what if I kind of did what I was doing with the sheriff, but did it with Drayton? And you can kind of see that he's not really a killer. He's just kind of doing what his family wants to do, but there's a bit of a power struggle. Like he wants to, take over the family someday. So I kind of went with that angle. And I thought, after I had, when I was, letting people read the script, I thought a lot of the people reading it would probably not give me some bad feedback on that, but they are all very positive. So I was like, okay, I guess that angle works for Drayton. So we kept it, because you've seen I remember what they did with Leatherface from 2017 with Drayton, and it was pretty much the opposite of what I did, so you kind of wonder if maybe I should have leaned a little heavier towards that end of the spectrum, but I don't know. I'm kind of happy with the way we went with Drayton.
Oh no, yeah. And as I said, once I knew that was him, I started to pick up cues. Like, oh yeah, he did this, and that's something the guy would do, and different things. But the girl that was your final girl, Nika
Lowe is how you pronounce her last name.
Nika Lowe. Yeah, I have horrible
thinking
handwriting.
it's either Lou or Low, but it's actually
my notes here. See, they're horrible handwriting. I can't even read myself sometimes. But yeah, she played Allison, I think was her character's name, and she was only 18 in the movie.
She was probably the only person playing the actual age of her character that actually was the age of her character. Yeah, she was only 18, and she was only 16 when she shot for our concept trailer, because she was the first person I cast. She came with me from Canada all the way down to Texas to shoot this movie.
She was very impressive as well.
She was, and she's won a couple awards for her performance already too. So that goes to show you that she was fantastic. I mean, I part of me wishes I could have shot for longer, had more shooting days, but again, budget. If we had more shooting days, I could have really brought some stuff out from her, because she's fantastic. Everything she did was like, wow, how do you do that? But yeah, fantastic young actress, and just really put herself through everything. She really wanted to feel like she was physically in danger throughout the whole film.
And that came across, as I put in my notes. I mean, she was visibly terrified, and you believed it.
Yeah.
She was one of the better actresses in the film for sure.
I agree.
And then when I found out how young she was, I was like, wow, this is very impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you did a great job casting the movie, writing the movie. I mean, I really liked it. My favorite franchise is Friday the 13th, but my second favorite franchise is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I've always loved it. I even love the bad ones. I mean, the only one I don't like is Next Generation.
Really, eh?
That's the one I do. That's my least favorite. But all the other ones, I mean, the ones that people usually hate, I like them. I mean, the Netflix one, it's got good parts and bad parts, but I've watched it more than once. Good
on you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not my favorite franchise. It's my favorite horror film, though, the original. After that, I really don't care about any of it. I can relate
to that, because my favorite franchise is Friday the 13th, but in my opinion, the greatest horror film ever made is The Thing.
Oh, okay.
John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. Forget horror, genre aside. But again, I just think that, like, with most horror movies, you can't, like, they're fun and you eat your popcorn and they're a good time, but like when you're thinking of like epic Academy Award type movies, these aren't them. But I could see The Thing as one of those type of movies. It's just amazing. But I digress.
All good.
So what was my next question? I had a question. Damn it. So, all right, here's what we're going to do real quick. I wanted to do this in the beginning, but I didn't. I'm going to go ahead and throw your trailer up and then let the people see that. So you guys, this film is free. But Ryan M. and my co-host, he put in the comments, it's free. It's for me, baby. So film is free. It's on YouTube. So definitely go ahead and check it out. We're going to go ahead and play the trailer there.
Here we are, boys. My uncle's cabin.
Not bad, Brant. What about AC, though?
How do you think he's doing?
Jimmy really needs this weekend, man.
So, Jimmy, what's this soul searching you're doing?
Had something personal happen to me a few months back.
Jimmy, I'm so sorry.
We had ourselves a little setback.
Just leave me out of it.
Do you have any food here?
You guys are hungry, huh?
What do you sell in your store?
You're gonna have to go see my grandpa.
Where is he?
He's not far. He's got everything you need.
Girls, stay close.
This is the place.
Is this somebody's too? Adeline, put that down.
Brant, is that you?
This is my house.
A lot of the walls, everything. Very true to film, I'd say.
Hey, what are you doing now?
Let's keep moving. We have to go.
What do you want?
You're very strong. You won't die. Yet. Get away from her.
I need you to save your strength, okay? I'm not gonna let anything happen to you, Allie.
Hey!
Right on. Yeah, so again, YouTube, check out the film if you guys haven't. And if you have, check it out again. Why not? But I wanted to get that out of the way because now I want to talk a little bit about Unseen, the movie that you got coming up with Felissa Rose. Right?
Sounds
Felissa
good.
Rose is in it.
Felissa Rose is attached. We also got Brett Wagner attached.
Another Texas Chainsaw
another
alumni?
Leatherface. Yeah, another Texas Chainsaw Massacre alumni. We got a few good people attached. We got lots of good people.
Right on. So what is wow, I'm definitely going to watch it tonight. Interesting, Karen says.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw fan. I think that this is well, it's better than a few of the movies that are already the actual studio movies, if you ask me.
Again, that's not saying much. I don't know. Again, I'm not a fan of the whole franchise. It's really only the original I love. But you know, they all have their fans. You know, a lot of people love Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. I don't. You know, I hate it. I don't get it. I don't.
Some people that's their favorite.
I know
like it because it's one of the first horror movies I ever watched that I can recall.
William Midstone, who played Rex, that's his favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and he actually put some Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 lines, I believe, in his dialogue. He added some of that just to. And I was like, okay, sure, you can do that. Whatever, But now they all think that I'm a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 fan when that wasn't the original dialogue I wrote. But I do. I mean, I like to appease the fans, but really, man, I only like the original.
Well, the first one is the best movie for sure. It's the best film of all of them. But I like a lot. Like again, I even like some of the bad ones. When we talked before, I like bad horror movies. Yeah. I like good ones too.
And you know what? The last Texas Chainsaw Massacre film that came out, the Netflix one, that's a bad movie. But you know what? I didn't hate watching it. I'll say that. I didn't hate it was a movie I could just turn my brain off. And
it might have the best kill in all the movies. Two of the best kills, if you
probably had the most kills of all the movies, I imagine. It probably had the highest body count.
And the Tesla scene. Like she's leaving, the car's on autopilot. She made it. No, you didn't.
But if you look at that movie, holy crap, did that movie ever defy science? Like there's no way Leatherface would have, especially a 70-plus-year-old Leatherface, do some of the things he did in that. Like, remember that dolphin jump he did out of the water there? Like, are you kidding me? And he's been shot how many times at this point? And it's ridiculous, but at the same time, I could at least have fun watching it. Where some of the other ones, I couldn't even have fun watching it. So I don't know.
Ellen Bede says, Steve, can't wait for the Unseen. Which
Unseen will be different. It'll be much different than Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'll tell you that. But
so can you give us a quick little? What is it about? Without telling us too much.
It'll definitely not be as gory. It's more of a suspense film than anything else. It tackles stuff like mental health quite a lot. So it's definitely very, very psychological type of film. Without spoiling too much, I mean, you can read our log line. Our log line basically says, what does it say? It's been a while since I've read it. It says in the aftermath of an unknown tragedy, a mentally unstable man seeks to what does it say? I got to read it now. Attempts to cure his conscience while tormenting a woman with an abusive past. So, it's definitely very suspenseful. It's definitely kind of a movie that's going to misdirect quite a lot. So be prepared for that, I guess, or don't be prepared for it. Hopefully people won't hear this interview and they'll be like, oh, I think it's that guy. Oh no, it's that guy. It's one of those types of movies,
Right on. That's cool. So with this film being an original idea, not a fan film, is it going to release on YouTube as well? Or are you going to shop it to like different streaming places?
I mean, that won't be up to me. Is it possible it could end up on YouTube? possible. It likely won't be on my YouTube channel. It'll probably be on some sort of site that YouTube channel that distributors put it on, and you'd probably pay for it. But we're talking with distribution. One of our producers is into distribution, so we're looking at different avenues that we can do as far as possibly getting on it on streaming platforms, or maybe even possibly in theaters. We'll see. You never know. If it's good enough. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if we can get it in theaters, but we've got a very low budget so far for this movie too. We're like right now, it's about almost half of what we made the Sawyer Massacre for.
Really?
Because it's been crowdfunded, so.
And where do you go to crowdfund that so people can go and help out?
Crowdfund on Indiegogo. I've never used any of the other platforms. I just got really familiar with Indiegogo, so I've been using Indiegogo. Obviously, the Sawyer Massacre did better, I think, because it's a fan film and it's an established property,
right?
And there's a lot of people that really liked what we were doing with the Sawyer Massacre. I mean, I think the fact that we shot it in Texas alone was something that really kind of got people interested, because the official films aren't getting made in Texas anymore, right? So they hear me saying, I'm a Canadian guy, I'm going to go to Texas to shoot this movie, and we did. And that's the kind of thing that got us backers,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with this, we are shooting it in Canada. I'm shooting it right in my own town and everything. It's an original idea. I think it's an original idea that a lot of people do like, but at the same time, I've pretty much said it's not going to be a gory film. It's very much a suspense film. It's not really made for a lot of the younger modern audiences. So. It's going to be it's not as easy for me to raise the funds for this one as it's been for the Sawyer Massacre, but
so if you wanted to help support that movie, you would just go to Indiegogo and search
Indiegogo, and maybe, I don't know, it's possible I could drop the link in the chat. I'm not sure if it's possible.
Well, if you know how to do that, that's awesome, because I don't.
I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can. Sometimes
I'll share it to my page too later. I'll figure that out. But as we were talking before we went live, I don't know technology.
I'm not the best either. Is this the current one? I think this is the current campaign.
Yeah, so we could hopefully get you some help with that. That'd be awesome.
I'll see if I can drop it. Sometimes it lets me drop it in StreamYard. Sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. Or maybe I have to do it right on the YouTube.
It says private chat. It went into the private chat. Let me see if I do this.
That's not where.
Copy link address, and then I go back to our chat with everybody. Where we at? And it's hit the button too many times. There we go. Hold that down. Paste, and I think I might have it. We'll find
you might have it.
Seconds. There you go. Charles says he's got to go. Great show, Rick and Steve. Best of luck. Got to get ready for showtime. He's going live in, probably right this second, actually. He usually goes live about 10 to 8 on his channel, which is on Rumble. He goes live on Rumble, the Dive Podcast. I'm not sure what they're talking about tonight, but he always has a good show. He does pretty cool stuff. It's really entertaining. So I
might have to check out Rumble. I've heard things about Rumble, but I've never gone on Rumble never downloaded it or anything like that.
Godzilla tonight, Charles says. So that's cool stuff. It seems pretty cool. The interface looks pretty much just like YouTube. I got it just on Charles's recommendation, and then I was thinking about maybe even someday broadcasting here, there, and YouTube, because I think StreamYard will do all three of them at the same time. But he hates Facebook, so he's trying to move everything over there. Facebook gives him a hard time. But
I can understand that to a point. Yeah.
I haven't had too many problems with it. So you're working on anything else? Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, I'm a one movie at a time kind of guy. I know some of these people, they do like 3 movies at once, but not me. I was an associate producer and on a Halloween 3 fan film called The Third Channel that released, I don't know, it's close to a month ago now.
I've been hearing about that forever, and I was so glad I checked out your Merlo's Massacre channel thing, because you brought that up, and I was like, Yes, I've been hearing that they're coming out, but I guess I never followed her thing. So I'm gonna. I love Halloween 3. It's my favorite.
Well, there you go. It's a divisive film, that's for sure. You either love it or hate it. I think I happen to be one of those that love it, and
I hated it for years. I never even watched it because all I heard was Michael Myers isn't in it. You won't like it, and I believed him. And then I watched it. I was like, "This is freaking awesome!" I got this really cool shirt, and it says "Halloween 3 sucks" like real big, but in the fine print it says, "If you think Halloween 3 sucks, it's because Tom Atkins banged your mother."
I like that. Man, I don't know. I think I'm glad to see some people coming around to it. I'll say that much. It's definitely
getting its love nowadays, and rumor has it that there's supposed to be a series to come out about it. I don't know what they would possibly do.
I don't know. They should give Michelle a call because I think she's got really good potential with her film. It's unfortunate that she only had a $10,000 budget to make it.
Right.
Again, crowdfunding is tough. I mean, anybody out there crowdfunding, holy crap. I mean, I crowdfunded Sawyer Massacre for 3 years, more or less 3 years before we had everything that we needed. And even still, it's like, geez, $30,000 to make a movie. And we shot in Texas. I flew 2 actors down with me to Texas, and we shot this movie, and you had to find ways to save money. It was tough. It's $30,000 doesn't go that far,
Which the first movie, the original one in '74, they had a lot of problems like that too.
Yeah, but they at least had more money than I did, and they had more shooting days. I'll tell you that much. I know that they had a lot more shooting days than I had.
They couldn't even wash Gunner's shirt.
Yeah. Well, they were afraid that it was going to change colors because it was dyed or something like that, right?
Yeah, they had a lot of issues, a lot of hard times making the movie. Do you know what their budget was?
I've heard different things. I've heard that it was as low as 80,000, and I've heard it was as high as like 120,000. So it's probably in there somewhere.
And just for inflation, they had about 10 times what you had. Shit.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Just for inflation, for sure, it's probably close to that $300,000 area.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more than we had, but even still, it's low. It's a low budget film, and it's amazing how people don't understand what it costs to make films. And so Unseen at this point, I'm making Unseen for probably around $16,000, 16 maybe $17,000 US.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's going to be tough. And I'm finding ways to save money. I'm trying to find free locations and free accommodation, all that kind of stuff to find ways to save money. We've had some of our crew just say, okay, give me an executive producer credit and I'll work for free, so that kind of thing helps. But at the end of the day, I want to pay people,
I mean, that's hard, man, to do anything for that little bit of money.
It is.
Talking about a feature film. It's hard. So that's why with guys like you, guys like Bobby Heckman, Vincent DeSanti, all these guys that are making these crowdfunded movies on super low, tight budgets. I mean, I think studios need to look at you guys because you guys know how to, stretch the hell out of a dollar.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into that because I think there's some crooked stuff going on, but I won't get into there. But I think there's some very, very rich studio execs is all I can say.
Oh, no
but
doubt.
But
again,
man, if I had $1 million to make this movie, that would be so awesome to have $1 million to make a movie, and I guarantee it would turn out great. Whereas the studio won't make a movie for $1 million. They got to have at least 10 or 20. 10 or, like, why do you need that much money for? Well, again, I don't want to raise suspicions, but I think there's a lot of pretty rich execs out there. I'll just say that.
No doubt. Well, like I said, I cash a lot of royalty checks, and I see what the actors and stuff are getting in their end, and I see what the movies are making on their end, and it gets all crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crooked business, that's for sure. But well, we've been going about an hour, so I'm gonna let you get out of here. But I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on. And when
Thanks
Unseen comes on, maybe we could revisit this and do this again when Unseen comes out.
I hope so. That'd be nice.
Awesome.
We have a pretty cool concept trailer that I made for nothing. You can check that out on YouTube.
I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's made for nothing, but a lot of people like it. So I'll say that. I just need more eyes on it. It seemed like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre trailers that we did, no matter what, they'd get thousands and thousands of views. I think we're up to like 1,200 after 5 months on Unseen concept teaser. But
Oh, thanks, Karen. She says, "Great show, guys." Yeah.
Thanks.
Right on. So again, thanks for taking the time. We're gonna we got the link in there. I'm gonna post that on my page for the Indiegogo for Unseen, and we'll talk again around the time that gets closer to going, and I'll talk to Adam about getting you that script.
That'd be cool. I'd love to read it. I'd love to read it.
I'll get on that. But hey, man, thanks for your time. But I'm gonna get you out of here, and then we're gonna talk about this giveaway I'm gonna be doing. But thanks, Steve.
Awesome.
You have a great day, man, and thanks for coming, brother. Okay, so that was Steve Merlo from Sawyer Massacre. Make sure you guys check that out on the YouTube and on YouTube and watch. Really good stuff. But real quick, so I was talking about this on the live earlier. I got this in a mystery box that I opened, and so honestly, I don't like it because I don't like it's gold. I don't like it's gold, but it is JSA certified. It is most definitely signed by CJ Graham. He wrote 18 kills over here. Let's see if we can get that somewhere in this camera. And I figured, Ryan's coming on. Let's talk to Ryan. God damn, dude. What's up, brother?
I'm sick, so
you look it.
just making a cameo, guys. I probably sound like shit too.
Oh, you sound like shit. You look like shit, but hey, it is what it is.
I'm still handsome. Leave me alone.
But hey, so we got this thing we're going to be giving away.
CJ Mask.
CJ Mask. The quality of the mask is not great.
Why the fuck is it gold?
I don't know, but this is the main reason why I want to give it away. I'm really. It's a good thing I'm not selling this because I'm doing a horrible job of selling this.
See, I actually need a CJ
but it is
mask,
signed.
I'm good on that one.
It is signed. The signature is beautiful. I like how they used a Part 6 chevron at least.
Yes.
You got
and the cut
X mark that doesn't go the right way, and it should be
a
like
little...
this. Cut out. Maybe you'll be back. Maybe you won't. We'll see. So we're gonna do some kind of a giveaway, and for this, I'm not
technical difficulty.
Technical difficulty. He's back.
I don't know what's going on with my phone.
Yeah. So again, I don't know what we're gonna do to give this away. I'm thinking maybe we did he's gone. All right, okay. Ryan's phone sucks. He tried. So we want Ryan to feel better. He's having a bad day. He's been battling the flu for like a week. So we're going to give this away. I'll post something on the page. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe if we could do a thing where I'll make a post. You comment on the post if you want it and invite a friend to comment underneath your comment and then like the page. So if that makes sense, it probably, like you comment on the post about the mask. And if you want to win the mask, and then you tag a friend or something and get a friend to comment underneath your name, reply to your name, and then you'll be entered to win the mask as well as the person you bring to the page. And I will, we'll maybe do it like for like a week or two, and then we'll do that. But quick little housekeeping. So next week we are doing what will probably be our biggest show to date, and we are having the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre cast on the show. We're going to have John Dugan, who was Grandpa, Alan Danziger, who was Jerry, the van driver. We're going to have them on, and I'm really excited about that. They're the biggest, We've had some guests so far, but these are probably the biggest names we've had. So I want you guys to come on, show up and show out. ask questions for them. And the week after that, we're going to have Craig Muchler from Microwave Massacre. So go to Tubi and check that movie out. And we'll be on here and we'll discuss that movie with him. And more than the movie, the guy's just had a really crazy life. Like right now he's doing a podcast with Al Pacino's stepmom. That's just insane. And he got Frosty the Snowman to be in a movie about eating people and microwaving them. You know, it's crazy. So I'm sure it's going to be a great conversation. And then the week after that, we're going to have Nina Yarrington, formerly of the Dolls of Horror, on to do one of our Year in Horror podcasts. And I think on that one is when we'll give away the mask. So not this next Thursday, not the Thursday after, the one after that. 3 weeks, we'll give away the mask. But the way you enter that is I'm going to make a post. You comment on the post, get one of your friends that doesn't already like the page to comment underneath that. I'll enter you both in the contest. We'll pull the names out of a hat. We'll use the little Scream tub that we have, probably like we did last time. And we'll do it live on the air, so everything's on the up and up. And then I'll drop that in a mailbox and mail. If you're local, I'll drive it to you. And we'll do that. And thanks, appreciate that, Karen. So, I think that's just about it. The Year in Horror podcast that we're going to do is 1991. So for your homework for the next couple weeks, start watching some 1991 horror movies. It was a really good year for horror. You had People Under the Stairs, and my mind's blank right now. I just know it was really, really good. I Want That Mask. I Don't Mind Gold. I don't know. I like my stuff to be more movie accurate, but it was cool. I mean, the mystery box. If you look on the YouTube, when I opened that mystery box, I got, I think, 7 autographs with 6 of them from Jason actors and 1 of them from somebody that played Pamela Voorhees in a movie, Connie Hogan, who was the head of Pamela Voorhees in part 2. So all in all, it was a really good mask. One of the items was a NECA figure signed by Tom Morga, and Whole Damn Enchilada podcast. Of course, part 5 is my favorite. So that made the box right there. I mean, the toy itself was $40 to buy new. And then, Tom Morga signing it, really awesome. So those guys, CSR Collectibles, that's who I got that mystery box from. They do really cool stuff. I've gotten 2 boxes from them so far, and they both were amazing. So, well, we're going to get out of here. And thanks, everybody, for coming. Check out Sawyer Massacre. Join us next week to talk more Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but with the guys that were actually in the movie. It's their 50th anniversary coming up. And I think our show is going to be the first show that they do for the 50th anniversary to promote it. So I'm honored that they're coming on our little show, period, but the fact that we'd be the first ones. So it should be really cool. 7:00 Eastern next week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So guys, thanks for coming, and we'll talk to you next week. All right.
What can I do when I'm stuck inside you?